guys, this is Dwight Shelby with the Opposite Force Parkour. It is Tutorial Tuesday. Today we're going to be learning a really awesome, fun, and super flowy beginner movement. And that is going to be the underbar. The underbar is awesome. Now, I've got my super trusty tape here with me because once we start learning underbar, actually we're going to start learning underbar with this tape. And I'm going to show you how, alright? So, first thing that I'm going to say about the underbar is finding an appropriate place to train it. Handicap rails are great for training underbar. Another place that's really cool, you know, people might look at you crazy if you go there, but like supermarkets. You know, especially if you find something that's pretty dead, like Kmart these days. You know, they always have those little corrals out front where you can put your buggies in whenever you're done shopping. Usually, those have rails that are spaced out well enough where you can actually work on underbars. Now, we actually have two really cool things. Alright, so this little window right here is really awesome for underbars. However, it's a little narrow and it's pretty small. So it's scary for a lot of people to do underbars. This is our underbar trainer in all of its glory. This thing is awesome. And we're actually going to be using it today to learn our underbar. If you want to know how to build one, or if you're worried about price or something like that, figuring out where you can get everything, then I'm going to put a little link, like right, hold on, there. And that is going to be the link so you guys can find the video about how we built this little underbar trainer, because it's super simple and you only need like 3 or 4 tools. Alright, so let's get to the underbar. Alright, so what is an underbar? An underbar is simple. An underbar is simply a movement used to overcome a bar, but you're going under the bar as opposed to over the bar. Underbars are great if you're trying to transition from a higher place to a lower place, and there's a bar that you can grab and that you can kick through and transition to a lower area. Also, the underbar is really cool because it's sort of a creative movement. You can throw it into a lot of different combos, and it'll really open up your creativity when you really start throwing that underbar and you grow accustomed to it. Biggest problem with the underbar for a lot of people is that they think it's scary. With the underbar is usually that people are afraid that they're going to clip their feet or hit their face on the bar. And those are all unaccountable things. You don't actually know if those things are going to happen unless you have tried the underbar and they actually happen. Now, this is for 2 reasons. If you're afraid of these things happening, it's because you haven't prepared your mind and body for doing them by understanding the technique. So there's one way to get rid of the fear. 2, if you've actually witnessed this happen, it actually happened to you, you actually hit your face or your feet or something during an underbar, you probably were not ready for it or you weren't training it right. So let's get this duct tape and I'm going to show you guys how to train this underbar and what we're actually doing with our body. Cool thing about tape is that it's not hard. And you can adjust your tape height. You can put it wherever you want. And that allows you to train your underbars without so much fear of clipping. Now, the problem that a lot of people have with their underbar is actually hitting their lower back, hitting the small of their back on obstacles as they're trying to underbar down. And that sucks. Okay, our tape is set up. This is the secret, okay? This is my secret. This is how I learned my underbar. Was actually with tape and a pull-up bar. Alright, regular old door frame in my old house. I would throw my pull-up bar up there where I could get a good grip like this in front of my body, in front of my face. I would set up duct tape across the door frame. Alright, our underbar. What are we actually doing? What's up with this super cool transitional move that I keep saying is so versatile? How are we actually doing it? It's actually quite simple, and we're going to do it in 3 steps, okay? There's going to be your run up, and then your jump. Your jump, and I guess you could call it a swing through or push through, are all pretty much the same thing because your run up transitions into your jump, okay? And then out of your jump, you're going to grab the bar, and then you're going to shoot your body through. And then you're going to exit in a split step. So what are we going to do with our run-up? Our run-up is going to be a split step. Now, a prerequisite, I mean, it's not absolute, But a strong, very strong prerequisite for the underbar is understanding the dash. Okay? So the more you understand the dash, the more likely you are to be able to do a very strong and very fluid underbar. So we're actually just going to put a link for the dash right there. Alright, give you guys a few seconds to click it, maybe 10 seconds. I'm waiting. That's it. That's about it. Okay. Understanding your dash will help you understand the motion that the body is taking about throwing yourself into an underbar. The only difference with the underbar and the dash, your legs, your lower body are pretty much going to be doing exactly the same thing. You know, your legs and your core are going to be relatively rigid going through this movement, and you want them to be. That's where a lot of your power is going to come from, okay? But instead of putting your hands down behind you, like with the dash, you're going to be putting them up in front of your face, okay? And that is going to be the #1 way to protect yourself from serious injury. You don't want to hit your buttocks, you know, bruise your glutes or hit your tailbone on an obstacle. But that might be a little more favorable than the idea of hitting your face on a bar, okay? So your hand placement is going to be the first and most important thing that I want you to learn. But what goes through first? Do our legs go through? Do our hands go through? Your legs are going to go through first. And it's going to be just like the dash, okay? When you get up close, you're going to pick your first leg up, the one that's going to shoot through first. It's going to shoot through under the bar. And then the second one is going to actually give you your lift as you come up off the ground. And it's going to just barely, slightly come up at an angle under your first foot. Then you're going to straighten it out on the way under the bar. You're going to keep your chest and abdomen nice and straight on the way through. Stay straight. Don't bend your back. Don't hunch or anything. Don't flare your elbows out. You'll hit them on the obstacle. You don't want to do that. So you want to keep your hands straight. Sorry. You want to grab the bar, and as you move through beneath it, you want to throw it up behind you like you're just throwing a big, heavy, like 30 or 40 pound weight up over your head, except for your hands are going to be backwards. They're going to be like this, okay? So we're going to get into position, and I'm going to show you what I mean about the way that the body should actually be coming under the bar. To have a better understanding of how this tape trick works, I threw some at the bottom of this bar to alter the amount of space that I have to go through it, because this is more like the amount of space that I might have from maybe a handicap guardrail or something to that effect. So we're going to give this a shot, and I'm going to show you guys what actually should be happening as you're going through this underbar. Okay, now if I'm grabbing from this side, it'll actually allow you to see a little bit better what's going to be happening with my upper body, how I'm going to keep my back away from the obstacle and my face away from the bar. I'm going to keep my face away from the bar based on how much distance I give myself with my hands once I get them into position like this across my body. So this is how I would be coming through in my underbar, like this. But I will have some speed, which means my body will have less time to come into contact with an obstacle. I want you guys to grow accustomed to the idea of bringing a lot of speed into your underbar. The more speed you bring into your underbar is the less amount of time you have to either hit your face or hit the small of your back on the base of your obstacle, the bottom, whatever your back is coming closest to. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. You don't want to be in there long, okay? You want to get through. You want to shoot through. So you want to take a lot of speed into your underbar. You want to get a good lift from your leg, kick it through, and then shoot your body through with all of that momentum. You want to take a grab of the bar as you're coming in, okay? Make sure the legs are going in first. That's one of the scariest things, is throwing the legs in first. And I guess a lot of people feel like they are out of control, as if they have lost control once they have shot themselves into this bar. It is not like a lache. You're not grabbing the bar first and then swinging yourself. You're throwing your legs in. And I think that's maybe why, even though it's a beginner movement, there are so many practitioners out there that aren't using the underbar. Number one, because they simply don't understand it. Maybe they haven't even been introduced to it yet. And then they are introduced to it and they're like, oh man, I'm not doing that. That just looks crazy. Okay, here are some slow-mo shots. The main thing I want you to pay attention to is the fact that my left leg is coming up first in almost all of these. Once my left leg shoots through, my right leg provides my lift, comes up beneath me, and then straightens out as I exit. I keep my abdomen and my upper body pretty rigid, split my legs and shoot them through at different levels. This allows me to control my exit and maintain the split step as I run out of my underbar. The only other tips that I can really offer offhand are to make sure that your dash vault is drilled down. Allow you to understand the physics and the form that you're really going to need to make sure that that underbar is flowy, that it's fluid, that it's fast, and that it's absolutely spectacular. Keep your speed up. Train until you trust yourself, and train it in various areas. I mean, there's tape everywhere now because I'm just coming up with all these really cool ideas to train underbars. Alright, so you guys are going to probably be seeing some weird underbar combinations from me in my next few videos, because now I'm like, oh my god, I gotta work on these underbars because they're so freaking sick. If you guys want to see a reverse underbar tutorial, then hit me up in the comments and say, hey D, we need a reverse underbar tutorial. As far as that goes, I want you guys to train safe, play safe, like, share, and subscribe. Share, 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 share. Remember guys, we're going for 100 subscribers in July, so you can look forward to a lot of videos this month. See you guys later. Yeah.